lesson 2.1. I'm sorry, 2.11 use cases. Today's learning objective is we're going to talk about agile use cases. A use case is similar to a user story. Okay, use case because it also describes one specific interaction between the user and the software. When I'm training people to improve the way they write down their projects requirements, I often describe the use case as deceptively simple tool that helps us find and write down all of the ways users interact with the software. Because it sounds so similar, I thought it was really important to discuss the use cases and its similarity to a user story. User stories are about needs. When you write a user story, what you are describing is a raw user need. It's something that the user needs to do in his day-to-day job. If you ever build any software for him, then that need will still exist. Use cases are about the behavior you'll build into the software to meet those needs. A developer who needs to build working software should be able to read a use case and get a good sense of what the software needs to do. It typically has a lot of detail and describes everything that the developer needs to build in order to meet the user's need. That is why it needs to have a lot more detail and be clear and ambiguous. Use cases describe a complete interaction between software and users, and possibly other systems when that's required. When you're doing a use case analysis, what you're doing is designing a functional solution that meets the user's needs. It needs to be something that developers can implement. It's possible that one user story could be spawned several use cases. And when you combine all of your use cases into one use case document, you'll end up with a complete description of every interaction between the user and the software that you're planning to build. If your software has to interact with multiple systems, you may end up treating other systems as actors in your use case. So I hope that clearly defines the typical usage of the term use case opposed to user story. So in the summary of this rather small, I think although very important learning module, I hope that we had discussed the development of use cases. Question: use cases do not describe a complete interaction between software and users. False.